So today we're going to be talking about fast track to growth, leveraging partner programs and marketplace for success. You heard all week long that AI agents can reason, they can plan, they can execute with increasing autonomy. So they're not just processing requests, they're anticipating our needs, they're solving complex problems, they're taking action alongside us, and they're opening up more think time and more create time for us so that we can better exercise our expertise and focus on relationships and innovation. And this is super, super important. In the sciences, for example, there are really big breakthroughs that are happening because of AI, things that couldn't happen before. MIT researchers, for example, use machine learning to screen over 100 million chemical compounds to lead to the discovery of a drug called halicin. And what it is it kills many antibiotic-resistant bacteria, which is super important. But the most important thing is that we would never have discovered it without ML. It took actually literally 3 days to do it, but in the old world would have taken years and years and years. But you don't need to be an MIT researcher to see how the AI is transforming and interacting with the world around us. You see it all around us, right? You see now real-time translation in dozens of languages at a new level of accuracy. You see educators being able to use it to really customize learning paths for students. And it's not just that it can do it, but it can do it at scale and in near real time. And that is really what's amazing. And I hope that all of you are incorporating it into your lives as well. I know that I use QuickSuite, for example, to help me prioritize and answer some of my email and to prepare for customer and partner meetings. So AI is really rewriting the rules of what's possible. So now we can totally reimagine processes, outputs, and outcomes built with agents that can learn and reason and achieve goals autonomously. So in this session, we're going to explore some of the what-ifs and how they become what's next as we chart our path through this. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Julia Chen, and I lead a function called Specialist and Partner Core. And what that is it's all of our programs, incentives, strategic collaboration agreements, enablement, various strategic initiatives. And I'm very pleased to be here with my colleague, Matt Yanchyshyn. He's sitting over there, Vice President, AWS Marketplace and Partner Services. And we really have a front row seat into something extraordinary, which is watching all of you, our partner community, use the power of AI to transform customers and their outcomes, and then also your own businesses. So in 12 months, we've not just grown the partner community, but you guys have really transformed how we deliver customer outcomes. So let me share one example. Trellix is a global cybersecurity company, and they had a problem. So security operations teams were facing overwhelming volume of daily alerts that required extensive manual processing. Trellix was actually able to transform their cybersecurity operations by leveraging Amazon Bedrock and Amazon Nova to analyze 1,000 daily security alerts in just 30 seconds. And it used to take them 80 hours. So that's huge. Not only did it reduce their time, but it also reduced the investigation costs as they're related. So it's super inspiring to see what we've been able to accomplish together. And we're just getting started. So during the keynote that you heard from Matt Garman, Swami, and Ruba about our latest innovations that are going to help you fast track your growth. And I hope you guys were as excited as I was to hear about them. Some things don't change, though, so the technology is changing fast, but our vision remains unchanged, and that is to make AWS the best place to build, market, sell, and grow. Today, Matt and I are going to be diving into the transformative era that we're entering with Gen AI and AI agents. We're going to share our perspective on how you can better position your own businesses to really thrive in the AI era and how best to leverage our partner programs and accelerate growth and differentiate your offerings. We'll also highlight the latest AWS Marketplace innovations designed to help you deliver solutions faster and create new revenue streams. Are you ready? Awesome. It seems like every year, it's almost cliche at this point, every year we say the pace of innovation is accelerating. And I'm going to say it again, because it is. And this year, it's faster than ever. According to Gartner, Gen AI spending is going to reach $644 billion. But it's not just that absolute number that's incredible, it's actually the growth rate. 76.4% year-on-year growth is incredible. Like, we don't see those kind of growth rates on, sort of quote-unquote traditional tech. So in 2025, we, AWS, have released dozens of major Gen AI services and feature launches across all different layers of the AWS AI stack, from our purpose-built chips to frontier models to applications and also to developer tools. Because we've said in the past 3 years, the partners who deliver business outcomes now are accelerated with all of these different AI tools, and they will earn the highest margins. Why do they earn the highest margins? So some of you guys who've been to this talk in years past recognize this slide. This slide has actually not changed for 4 different reInvents. So it's been the same slide. And it's not because every year I don't question whether the slide should change, but actually because it's still valid, right? Like, I've not found a counterexample to this. Delivering business outcomes is more differentiated and unlocks more business value than reselling AWS services alone. Our commitment to accelerating your journey, no matter where you are on this path, remains. So we want to make our programs simple, predictable, and profitable. Some days we do better than others, but we're always striving towards that. And today, AI is increasing the value of the business outcomes. And so the margin difference now, so the bottom is resell, right? Services, managed services, tech solutions, business outcomes. The gap in profitability is actually getting bigger because the Gen AI and the agentic AI is helping those business outcomes become even more valuable. We'll talk about some data around that as well. So partners are seeing higher profitability when they invest in 3 different areas. So the first is expanding your range of services to customers. So there's lots of different services that you can provide to customers, and you do, right? It's advisory services, it's integration services, it's implementation, migration, modernization, management of their infrastructure, and support, to name a few. The second one is around AI adoption. And you'd have to have been asleep the whole week if you hadn't picked this one up. But it's super, super important, both for the customer solutions, but also for your own running of your own internal business. This is super critical. And the third one is by leveraging AWS Marketplace to really scale your transformational offerings. So partners that take advantage of all 3 of these things are going to grow faster and get higher profitability. The math is super compelling. Our highest performing partners can now earn $7.13 in revenue for every $1 of AWS customer spend. So that's up from $6.40 in 2022. Thanks a lot to AI. And this is what's really exciting. We know that 82% of our partners are already delivering AI solutions, and 73% of you guys are using AI to transform your own business. And there's many ways that partners can deliver deliver value with AI. And I want to share a few with you.
You have the poorest communities living next to the most endangered species in the world. And we expect them to protect those species whilst receiving no reward whatsoever for their stewardship. AWS was incredibly helpful in starting this revolutionary process of representing what the needs of a particular species might be.
Tehanu is the bridge between conservation and community development. Our mission is to impact communities by providing them with extra source of income while protecting endangered species.
Working with Ad Astra and Anthropic provided an incredible solution. We tried to work out what were the basic needs of those animals, boil those down into simple tasks that could be acted upon by human agents.
We take a huge amount of scientific papers and data, and we extract what are the actual needs that the gorillas have. The AI is able to really look for all the niche information and find very specific recommendations and what possible actions could be taken to increase their life outcomes. Anthropic's great accuracy and performance makes it easy to monitor the behavior and deploy it.
We managed to build a payment platform. It starts with the species. The species gets a digital identity. The animal has a piggy bank and it's going to pay you a few coins if you do something that it really needs.
One example would be a ranger removing a snare, taking a picture, and then send it. And after validation, the ranger will actually receive money directly into their mobile money account.
AI for good means taking all the powerful tools that we have now and using them to help protect other species, extend biodiversity, help preservation, and also help people in need. The work that Tehanu, Anthropic, Adestra, and AWS did combines all these things together.
It's an incredibly exciting future to imagine that we have AI partners to help us better protect other species on the planet.
So I was personally very inspired by that video. So after I watched that, and I hope you guys are as well, leveraging Adastra's AI expertise and really the comprehensive cloud solutions of AWS, Tehanu is really pioneering AI for wildlife preservation. Adastra had to create a solution from scratch using Amazon Bedrock, Amazon S3, and AWS Lambda to fine-tune this AI for wildlife conservation. They had extensive data on mountain gorillas, and they were correlating that to documents and papers that had been, research papers that had been done, and all of that had to come together. But what's very important is that in order for all of that to be, correlated and available to the AI, it all had to be in one place in modern infrastructure, modern databases, et cetera. So this cloud-based infrastructure enabled them to process behavioral data 110 times faster than human experts. So what used to take 24 hours actually got reduced down to 13 minutes with 93% accuracy. So that, scales. It's amazing. And especially in these far remote places where you don't have a lot of resource and you don't have a lot of humans to do this work, the time really matters. So importantly, Tehanu's approach uses technology to create this bridge, right, between wildlife conservation and economic development. And I think I love that because it's a win-win-win situation. And then you also see how migration and modernization together are really important to unlock the full value of the AI. So our ambition, because this is going to migration and modernization, is around increasing the modernization service attached to your migrations, because that's really how you unlock the value of the AI. It's also migrating specialized workloads that disproportionately feed business outcomes, and I'll dive into some of those specialized workloads in a minute. And to also drive a relentless focus on the value realization of the migrations that you've done. So it wouldn't be a program talk if I didn't talk about MAP. Okay, so as a recap, the Migration Acceleration Program is one of our largest programs, and it serves two purposes. It's a structured methodology for taking a customer through a migration, and it's also a funding program that helps our customers with the upfront migration costs. Last year, we enhanced MAP to be even more streamlined and partner-friendly. We streamlined the funding approvals, and we accelerated payments, and we expanded support for new-to-cloud customers. The results that we saw were really, really good, actually. Our customers have been reaching their first migration milestone 41% faster. So that's, it's partly due to the program, but it's very much due to you guys, so thank you very much for doing that work. Hundreds of partners have achieved the migration competency designation so that you can access the MAP program, and if you haven't, please look into it. And we will continue to add tools into the migration toolkit so that you can do it more seamlessly and quicker. This is one example. So with our experience-based accelerator, we train your teams to help customers build the organizational readiness that they need for successful migrations. Another way that we help customers accelerate migrations is through Countdown Premium. It provides customers with immediate access to an engineer across a range of services, whether it be serverless, database, AI, SAP, whatever you need. So instead of the customer opening tickets and someone dealing with one-off tickets, the same engineer will stay with the customer, and that way they have all the context that they need and they're able to resolve things faster. So not only do we want our customers to migrate and modernize so they can leverage the benefits of AI for their business problems, but we also want to use it to speed up the migration itself. So we have worked with several third-party ISVs that have tooling, River Meadow, Monte Cloud, Concerto, Matilda Cloud, you see them on the slide. There's also many others as well that didn't fit onto the slide, but they have tools actually that are available to you that help speed up migrations. And in some cases, AWS will help subsidize your use actually of their tools. We've also launched AWS Transform, and you heard a bit about that as well with a lot of really cool new features. So definitely check that out. It's a new agentic migration and modernization service for enterprises. It combines 3 powerful AI technologies, LLMs, graph neural networks, and automated reasoning to make it much easier and faster to migrate and modernize and transform critical workloads at scale. So, taking COBOL code and then turning it into Java. It really results in a lot of time savings. So for example, TCS, a global IT firm, used AWS Transform to modernize their customers' entire state of 3,000 VMs and saw amazing results. So they got to 95% accuracy and 45 to 60% productivity gains. And MAP in the GenAI era really includes now modernization with GenAI and agentic features for your existing applications, data, and workloads. So let's get to these mission-critical workloads that we believe need to be prioritized. So Tahanu, for example, probably wasn't using enterprise software, but I know that many of your customers do. And every customer starts from a different place. But one thing is constant, which is that a lot of these critical workloads, Windows, SAP, VMware, actually perform better on AWS. They can run more efficiently, scale more easily. One example that we have is that SAP RISE actually runs faster on AWS. So we get 58% fewer disruptions and 30% faster performance running on AWS doing analytics. Another example is Microsoft workloads. So since 2008, we've been helping customers reduce their operating costs by an average of 39% when it runs on AWS versus running on-prem. Also helping our customers modernize their .NET applications to .NET Core and from SQL Server to AWS databases actually offers 2 key benefits. It saves your customer some licensing costs, but it also enables them to use other AWS services later like Bedrock and all the future innovation that keeps coming. Let's talk for a minute about VMware. So according to analysts, 80% of companies have an upcoming VMware contract event, a renewal event in the next 24 months, and 74% of customers are evaluating alternatives to their VMware workloads. Amazon Elastic VMware Service can help customers unlock the benefits of AWS at scale. So this is something that you definitely want to look into because it'll give your customers greater control and agility if they're looking for alternatives to VMware. It's something that you want to have a conversation about early on. So don't just take it from me. We have partners and customers feeling the same way. And here's a quote from Aeromexico. Another area that's gotten a pretty big boost from AI is around managed services. So you'll see me get really, really excited about managed services. And you guys remember from the partner profitability framework slide that I showed, managed services is higher up on the stack. The data is actually very compelling, internal and external data that we have. By 2026, MSPs will manage 65% of cloud service provider spending. So that's $443 billion. But what's interesting, especially interesting, is actually why. Our research shows that partners working with validated AWS MSPs deliver 3 times faster customer growth because they're trusted advisors. It makes a lot of sense. And a lot of you actually are managed service providers, I know. And so you are the trusted advisor of the customer. You're day in and day out in their environment. You can spot things that they need, and it gives you an opportunity to really help them advance faster. So that's why we're doubling down on our investment in MSP partners, and for the first time offering monetary incentives for managed services. And we have a couple of programs launching throughout 2026. We have the MSP incentive for customer management that focuses on partners managing ongoing customer operations and retention on AWS. Later next year, we'll be launching the MSP incentive for strategic services focused on partners delivering customer adoption of high-value AWS capabilities like GenAI, like security, and other things as well. And then we have an MSP government practice benefit for those of you who work a lot in public sector that support partners that are serving government and education customers particularly. So let's hear from Capgemini's experience with our managed service program.
As one of the key cloud providers, Capgemini provides end-to-end services for cloud. The AWS Managed Service Program has helped Capgemini business through the training, through the technical support, through the access to technical architects that we get. The employees on the Capgemini side have been able to work with the financial services clients better. It has helped us be more competitive in the market. It has helped provide better solutions or more cost-effective solutions to clients, and has helped with the right pipeline, revenue, as well as great joint big deals and wins through access to all the expertise as well as the funding support. By collaborating with AWS on the managed services program, we have close to achieved close to 15 to 20% cost savings just because of the support in terms of the right technical solutions, faster time to market, as well as through the support on funding, which helps us provide better customer service to our clients.
So as you just saw, Capgemini achieved higher profitability and were able to cut costs as they were trusted advisors to their customers. So this is the MSP advantage, in action, and we're going to more and more reward that. So let's go back again to AI. 82% of partners are delivering AI solutions. I'd said that at the beginning, and really integrating them into your processes and delivery. So we're seeing that actually pays off quite a lot. We're seeing the biggest profitability bump, actually, in this area of all the partner categories surveyed. And we want you all in the room to really benefit from this as much as possible. So AI is sort of sprinkled everywhere throughout, and so throughout this talk, you're going to be hearing how it plays into every part of it. So I urge all of our resellers to continue building up your services, and your services will be enhanced by AI. There's a couple of different changes to our channel partner programs. I don't have time to get into them in great detail, but you will find some of it in Partner Central, and we will continue to keep rolling out webinars and office hours and various different things. But to go over them quickly, we're streamlining our base benefits. So let's see. This is going to be more simplification, predictability, and earnings, and reduced overhead for you guys. The base benefit consolidates our previous base benefit and the technical capability discount that used to be two separate things. We're putting them together. We also have a new customer incentive. And new customer incentive is not necessarily a new thing. We've had it in various different flavors, but we're actually combining it to be one thing now so that will be more simplified. There's a partner growth incentive. So again, we've had many flavors of account growth, different levels of growth, like you guys are familiar with PGD, POD, various flavors of that. We're also consolidating all that into a partner growth incentive at the portfolio level for your resell portfolio. And over time, it'll expand to revenue under management, but for 2026, it'll be just your resell portfolio here for this one. And then we also have deal registration that we're introducing for the first time for more control and transparency, along with higher incentives and enhanced billing capabilities. We're also excited to launch the Partner Greenfield program to help our partners build their Greenfield business practice by scaling up AWS capabilities and focusing on new customer engagement in 3 priority areas. So migration, modernization, Gen AI, and security. This program is going to give you more co-sell support, enablement, and resources to help our partners build their practice, and clear milestones and shared metrics. Okay, so we'll hear from Copa Airlines because I want to talk a bit about our ISV incentives as well.
Mi nombre es David García, soy el director de Ingeniería de Software y Datos para Copa Airlines. Copa Airlines es una aerolínea panameña que viaja a 32 países, 85 ciudades, y ha sido la aerolínea más puntual de Latinoamérica por 3er año consecutivo. Teníamos un data warehouse que era muy costoso poder incrementarle las capacidades que tenía. No teníamos la capacidad, por ejemplo, de poder implementar analítica en real time. Entonces nosotros teníamos que buscar la capacidad de poder separar el compute entre cada equipo para así uno no pudiera afectar al otro. Nos reunimos con Amazon Web Services, nos ofreció un servicio de consultoría para verificar si la estrategia de datos que nosotros estamos definiendo era la correcta. Nos proveyó un ambiente sandbox para poder probar diferentes tipos de tecnología y así poder saber si en realidad este tipo de ofertas que existían en el marketplace nos podían ayudar a solucionar nuestros problemas. En la parte de la investigación, nosotros habíamos seleccionado trabajar con el partner Databricks y ahí es donde hicimos la comparación. Y entonces ahí Databricks nos dio un tiempo de respuesta de 38 segundos en la primera corrida y 11 segundos en la segunda, mientras que el Data Warehouse actual nos daba 5 minutos de manera consistente. Yo diría que el partnership entre Amazon Web Services y Databricks y Copa hemos logrado conseguir la solución perfecta para nosotros.
I love that video. So, I mean, we're all about partnering. And by the way, like it's like we're seeing a lot more multi-partner solutions coming together, and I definitely want to encourage that as well. But like you see, Copa Airlines, they were very happy with the solution that they got and had enormous time savings from this solution that was put together. So we want to continue to enable you. So it's not just about programs, it's about all the different things, partner equips, game days, webinars, trainings, and you have to keep telling us and giving us feedback on what it is you need to make sure that you're getting what you need to learn, as well as what you need in terms of funding. So we give innovation and sandbox credits to partners so that they can try things and experiment for free. And we've recently held our first ever AI agent global hackathon. Swami had talked about it as well. So we had over 9,500 developers from over 127 different countries build over 600 projects using Amazon AI tools like Bedrock, SageMaker, and Kiro. Our first place winner that you've heard was Ahito Nelson, so I'll just feature him one more time. And his project was an AI agent called Eco Lafayette that tracks waste management in Timor-Leste using Amazon Bedrock and Agent Core. So again, this is another story that I love, which is that he's able to democratize the AI and actually make it so that every single person that had the app could take a picture of waste and be able to, the app would allow anybody to actually report and get the severity of the pollution problem, which is amazing, because then authorities could come in, prioritize, and clean it up. It's really, really cool. So I hope that you guys and all of your teams are using this and experimenting with it, because truly the sky's the limit on what you can do with these great tools. All right, so please do win. This is the QR code in case you want to see more of the different projects that there were. There were so many amazing, really inspirational projects, and so you should take a look in case you didn't get a chance to look at the various projects that were submitted. These are really, like when I talk about business outcomes, right? It's really cool to see the business outcomes that people come out with. All right, speaking of business outcomes, the main program supporting business outcomes right now is called Box. It really empowers our partners to deliver exceptional customer outcomes through multi-product solutions and collaboration opportunities. So Box is not new, and it's already helped over 350 new solutions come together. And you know what? We were able to generate and co-sell 50 quality opportunities that converted at 20%. So this is really, really good impact. And so we're going to continue expanding Box. It's going to have more enhanced account planning, marketing support, funding for industry-specific use cases. It's going to strengthen the co-sell with us, and then also it'll improve seller visibility, so it'll be more visible to our internal CRM users. So these improvements are going to help partners to better serve the line of business, which I know is a priority for all of us. I will go through some of our other ISV programs quickly. So we have the Workload Migration Program. So Workload Migration Program, also not a new program, has been around for some time, but some of the new enhancements to it are that you're going to be able to now offer credits to existing customers. This is new, previously had not been there before, and simplified ARR calculations and tooling. So I hope that that will help all of you guys to help migrate workloads from anywhere, basically, onto AWS. All right, and then our ISV Accelerate program, also not a new program, has been around for quite some time. It's really the powerhouse behind our co-sell engine with ISVs. So what makes it special is our AWS sales teams get to retire quota, and they get compensation to co-sell with you. Your solutions are also featured in our internal recommendation engine. And it really, you know, many of you guys who are in this program tell me it makes a big difference to motivate our sellers to work with you. So that We will continue to expand that, actually. We expanded it this last year. It was Marketplace only, but we expanded it almost tenfold and allowed 10 times more ISVs onto the program. And then also, and I'll skip now to Marketplace Private Offer Promotion Program. So this actually, we're going to expand by quite a lot. We dramatically expanded it with end-to-end automation that delivers credits within 1 business day of offer acceptance, which is fantastic. We know that speed matters when you've got a deal on the table, and so this automation should help you win more deals. We also have 2 additions to MPOP. Now we have an MPOP Activate to support new marketplace sellers, including qualified global startup participants that are in their first year or in their first 20 private offers. We also have, for all of the veterans, MPOP Grow, which provides established partners with ongoing support, covering 20% of marketplace contract value with an additional 0.5% on select agentic AI products. So looking ahead to Q1 2026, because we have an exciting roadmap coming up, we're introducing product-level eligibility in our automated partner funding tool to help ensure we're investing in solutions that are deployed on AWS. And we know that success in the cloud is not one size fits all, and we always want to meet you where you are. And so please keep telling us where you are in your journey, and we've got the tools, and if we don't have them, we'll make them, the tools to help you along your AWS partner journey. But to truly scale this impact, we need to transform how our customers discover, buy, and consume technology, and this is where AWS Marketplace comes in. And I'd like to invite Matt up to the stage because he's going to tell you all the magic on Marketplace.
Nice try. Hi. Yeah, let me reiterate, thank you for being here on the I think is it Thursday? Does everyone else have that eye twitch at this stage? Yes, yeah, I'm with you. So I guess I'm one of the last things that stands between you and the replay party. I hope to see you on the dance floor last night. I saw a couple of you at the Mission party last night. I did an Irish exit though, which I can say because my wife is Irish. So my name is Matt Yanchyshyn. I lead AWS Marketplace and Partner Services, and it does sound a bit cliche, a bit like what Julia was saying before, but it's true. I am so excited to be here this year. I've been at AWS for 13 years, but I've been in this role for about three and a half, and this is really the year when we delivered a lot of things that so many of you have been asking for both Marketplace and Partner Central and the other services that we launched. It's been really validating for the team. If you saw the partner keynote with Ruba, I had the privilege of joining her for a few minutes and doing a demo of some of the new features, and it just felt good for my team. They put their blood, sweat, and tears in, often over Thanksgiving weekend, to get these features to you, and now they're real. And we're getting great feedback, and hopefully you're seeing that your feedback matters, and you're seeing that feedback reflected in our roadmap, whether it's in Partner Central with the APIs, and I'll talk about it. I've been joking that Graviton 5 and Trainium 3 ain't got nothing on Partner Central 3.0. But keep giving that feedback because we're moving quickly. We've shipped 27% more features year to date, thanks to AI enhancements. We can do more, and we've been doing a lot of foundational work that you don't see, so we can deliver more things more quickly to you. So today I'm going to talk about some of those new things on both the Marketplace side and the Partner Services side. But really this is, if anything, the takeaway should be a call to action. I want you to use these features, but provide feedback on what we should do next. So if you do nothing else, just start thinking about how you're going to pin me after this session and tell me what you really need to take your growth to the next level. Our vision remains the same. It's just an expanded vision now. We want to meet customers where they are and really have Marketplace everywhere that customers are. You saw us start to do this with things like Buy with AWS last year, and we're now up to, I think, 18 different AWS Service Console integrations. But we're really just getting started. And meeting customers everywhere isn't just in an AWS Service Console or a third-party catalog. It's also reducing procurement friction and meeting them in the tools that they use every day, whether it's sales tooling or an ERP or a CRM or any type of procurement tool. It means putting Marketplace in the right places for the right personas that need to discover and procure through the Marketplace and making it easy to use. So that's sort of a theme and a thread that runs through everything we're doing. We really took an intentional step, even organizationally actually, to reorganize both the features and our own team around the buyer journey this year. So you see the features and the program enhancements and so much else we've been doing map that separation from discovery, helping customers find what you want, and we'll talk about AI search and agent mode and other things that we've rolled out there, through to trying before you buy. If you're a partner, if you're selling software in particular, you'll know that something like a free trial, some type of ability for the customer to try before they buy is critical to increasing conversion rates and also for customer happiness. So we're putting a lot of effort into the research phase, whether that's due diligence that might go into an RFQ or an RFP, or the actual trying it. We have a pilot right now with a demo you might have seen powered by, what's it called, Workspace Studio, to actually help you try a full-blown demo of the product before you buy. On the back of other features, we have like free trials for a long time. So a lot of effort around evaluation. And then streamlining purchasing. We want to maintain this tension with Marketplace where it's disruptive, where we're pushing the industry to new and exciting places in terms of speed of procurement. And that means, doing some things in new ways. But it also means being the new normal and working with normal procurement processes that need to happen in any company of any size. So we love that tension. We love working with the tools and the processes that you have today, but kind of nudging us all forward into the future and sort of riding that tension. And a big theme of the last couple of years, and especially the launches that I'll cover today, is that it doesn't end at subscribe. Once you buy something and purchase something, there's actually research from Gartner that says that 25% of SaaS purchases never get used or rarely get used. And I actually think that's pretty conservative. Just think of your own company. There's licenses littering all of our companies, right, for unused SaaS subscriptions. So it's not limited to SaaS, first of all. But we're putting a lot of effort into how can we increase buyer retention, renewal rates, et cetera, and really just customer happiness by taking it after subscription and setting things up and like increasing the value of what you bought and discovered through the marketplace. So let's go through some of these features. The bottom line is that when we think about the procurement phase, if we solve the problems faster and if we close deals more efficiently, it will mean that you'll be able to grow more global businesses more quickly. Less friction for customers means more business growth and faster velocity. We want to be the most strategic channel for partners to sell their software, professional services, and data in the cloud. We've made a lot of progress, but like I said, there's still work to do, so please bring your feedback to us. So first of all, with discovery, I mentioned that we segmented both the features that we build and also even organizationally around the buyer journey. Helping customers show up in the first place to discover your product, helping our reps discover what product they want to co-sell with you is critical. So we put a lot of effort into what we used to call buyer features, but it's not just buyers. It's really just the first phase of the discovery. And you'll know that search historically wasn't necessarily the top strength of Marketplace. That's Matt being polite as a Canadian. We rolled out type-ahead search, and I was on stage telling you how great type-ahead search, and everyone was like, welcome to 2000. So now we have AI-powered search, which is actually great. It's wonderful. It does things that you expect, honestly, as a buyer these days, things like AI-powered summaries at the top of the results that help you to quickly understand what you're about to see. And feedback from you was that the ranking could be improved. So actually the search ranking has been we ripped it out and replaced it. And we're using actually multiple AI models and search algorithms. For example, we're using Cohere re-rank to help with our search results. We're also using Claude, all through Bedrock, to help generate those AI summaries. We use Nova Premier as well for search, so we're multimodal. It all goes through Bedrock, but we've improved our search across a number of vectors. We have AI-generated categories, so it's no longer just fixed categories, it's dynamic categorizations. A number of improvements to search that aren't immediately obvious, but what will be obvious is that you can find more relevant results more quickly. And if you're a seller, hopefully, your solutions get surfaced a lot better and in more relevant ways to buyers. So a lot of people have been talking about agent mode this week, but don't forget that AI-powered core fundamental search is a big change. Agent mode, though, is getting a lot of buzz, and rightly so. So if you go to the AWS Marketplace page, if you get tired of listening to me, just pull it up on your phone. You can see there's a brand new agent mode experience. And what agent mode is a personalized conversational search experience for discovering products. And this is really important because say you have like detailed requirements like an RFP or technical requirements or just a list of stuff that you want. Now you can upload that document. It could be like a PDF document, and we use Anthropic Claude through Bedrock to parse your requirements and then auto-generate AI-powered product comparisons on demand. What's cool about these product comparisons is that they incorporate first-party data, and by that I mean AWS data, with third-party data that we license from providers like G2 and others, with real-time insights from the web. And if you've used something called Nova Web Grounding, which is a service that you can access through Bedrock, it can actually go out and get, it's like RAG, it can go out and get real-time insights on the web. So we pull in real-time data, in addition to the data provided via the LLM, in addition to third-party data and our own data, and we pull all that together and we make a dynamic comparison that corresponds to the requirements that you either typed in natural language or that you uploaded. So it's more than just like, these aren't static requirements. We had AI-powered product comparisons that I'll show in a second. That was sort of phase one. And we had AI-powered search that we rolled out with the AI agents and tools launch at New York Summit in July. But this is a whole new thing. Real-time insights, third-party data, first-party data. How many of you have ever bought software ever in your life for a company? Like, I hope so, you're here. What does your boss normally say? Are you getting a good price? Did you look at the other options? Like, are you sure it's gonna work, et cetera. So we're trying to help you answer those questions more quickly. And whether that is a formal procurement process or just like your boss needling you to make sure that you're not getting ripped off, you need a set of information, right? And that takes time. And candidly, what are most people doing? They're going on a Google or a Claude in their pocket and they're doing that research. So we're bringing it into Marketplace and putting more structure around it and giving you information that you can trust so you can make informed buyer decisions. There's this thing we talk a lot about internally called buyer's regret. There's a lot of buyer's regret out there, or people that don't do due diligence and then they buy something and guess what? Like Gartner says, it sits on the shelf. So we want to help you make better buying decisions so you get better value out of what you subscribe to and what you buy. And to do that, you need data. Third-party data, first-party data, real-time data from the web, and that's what we pull together in agent mode. Again, if you get bored of looking at me, open your pocket. I hope you have Anthropic Claude, the app. If you have the pro version, you can add the AWS Marketplace connector. It's available today already. And you can run agent mode via our MCP server from Claude directly, or any AI tool that supports MCP. So you can use our website to run agent mode, or any AI tool that supports MCP. That's available today already. Pretty cool, because guess what? Our data already shows that yes, we're still getting a lot of organic traffic from search results. We're getting a ton of organic traffic from AI tools. So now you have first-party connectors that hit our MCP servers that use agent mode, and you get the same third-party reviews with the stars, the product comparisons in any tool of your choice. I said this on LinkedIn. If you follow what we call Matt's Roadmap LinkedIn, you'll see that it's true. This is a glimpse into the future of procurement. Just to drill a little bit deeper, there's more than just the requirements parsing. We have AI-powered product comparisons, and that pulls in, we have first and third-party reviews. We have AI-powered product review summaries. And something that kind of flew under the radar but is super important is AI-powered pricing insights. If you've ever used an enterprise software product, sometimes the pricing is a little confusing. There's a lot of different dimensions that you're priced on, and sometimes it's hard to understand. I mean, how many of you have ever in your life received a bill for a software product that was like, ooh, didn't think I'd be charged like that. Ooh, all right, got to go to talk to my boss now. We want to help you understand so you don't have to have that conversation with your boss. That's what pricing insights is. It helps you make sense of the dimensions and how they translate into what you're actually going to pay for. So we're really trying to simplify things. And with the AI-powered translations as well, you can see this stuff in Japanese or French or the language of your choice as well. So we want to take that information, distill it for you, present it in the form that you will best consume it with, and help you make that informed buying decision. So that's how you find what you buy. But what about what you buy? So multi-product solutions is something that candidly is overdue. Many of you in the room have asked me for this for years, and I can't be happier to deliver this. This is something that seems so simple, but it's actually very complex. I'll give you some potentially boring, unless you're like me and you love tax reasons why this is complex. Professional services, like people services, are taxed differently in most countries than software. And the way that companies, I see some of my friends here, sell in enterprise license agreements, for example. That makes things complex. You're not necessarily selling a SKU per product. You're putting SKUs together. The way that buyers buy and sellers sell for complicated enterprise products can be complicated. And so modeling these as multi-product solutions is not trivial. What if you're buying through a reseller? What if you're buying professional services and that company is reselling one or more product vendors? Who's the lead seller? So we had to think through a lot of things to get this done. And I'm really proud of what the team has delivered. What this is multi-product solutions, but in reality, it's actually taking multiple SKUs and putting it in a single container. I like to think of it like a container, a single product listing. And it's not just like an ad. It's not just like a static web page that we stuffed SKUs together. First of all, it's an actual AWS product listing that we can flow through the same recommendation systems that we use for individual listings today. So this is critical, because what do we do as an enterprise sales force today? We sell solutions now. Many of you have sales forces, and that's been the thing for years. You're selling industry-based solutions, use case-based solutions, horizontal solutions to solve specific customer problems. Now you can do that through the marketplace. Instead of selling a security solution, you can sell a zero trust security solution targeted for global financial services institutions in the United States and model that as a multi-product solution. You can have one or more vendors and one or more products. This could be software services software from end vendors. The way it works today is modeled with a lead seller, and each offer is still a separate SKU, so we handle that different taxation and different sometimes benefits associated with them behind the scenes. It dramatically simplifies the customer experience because they can accept one offer set, and we take care of setting out those different offers to the different sellers automatically. So for the customer, it makes it easier to manage things. They don't have to kind of manage, you still have to sign contracts with the different vendors, or rather sign different offers corresponding to the different vendors, but we greatly simplify it for the customer so you can close that deal faster. But most importantly, it unlocks solution-based selling in a more meaningful way for all of you. So this is huge, and it actually unlocks a lot of other side challenges that I've heard from partners in terms of how you want to create packages of offerings together. So this is, maybe not so quietly, one of our more significant launches. And I think it's already 69 or 71 listings live, and I expect to see dozens, if not hundreds more in the coming weeks. Here's some examples, just to sort of make it real. I was on stage talking about a Zscaler ZPA plus MCP server plus Presidio professional services offer. There's a great one from Accenture with Elastic, for example, with an MCP server. Some of the many services that are out there. These are different permutations, but you can do really any kind of combination. If you squint and look closely at the slide, you'll see something near the bottom that's kind of interesting too. What is it? Anyone guess? What's Connect? That third-party Connect? No, that's an AWS service. Now there are AWS service listings in Marketplace as well. Connect, professional services, we have MCP servers, we have Quick Suite. You're going to see more AWS services. Now these are listings, they're not transacted any differently. You still buy them the same way you always did. Like when you click that, you go to the Connect console and you pay for it on your AWS bill like usual. But this is important because it allows you to create packages that are both third-party, or third-party AWS. So what if you had expert delivery implementation services plus Box, for example, plus Quick Suite? Now Quick Suite can have a Box connector delivered to you by Deloitte. I just made that up, but that's a good example. So now you can start to think, the gears can start to turn. What combinations can you do to meet customers' needs of first and third-party professional services plus software? The possibilities are kind of endless. I mentioned that I think of the multi-product solution as a container and that we use it for recommendations. This is important because internally, we also use algorithms and models to recommend the best partner solutions to our reps to sell. We use a CRM from our friends at Salesforce internally, and we have thousands and thousands of customer opportunities. And one of my goals in life is for every single one of those customer opportunities to have a partner product or products attached to it. And we recommend which partner solutions to attach automatically in every single customer opportunity at AWS. And now we can recommend packaged multi-product solutions that are really specific to that customer, directly to the customer opportunity. So that increases co-sell, increases the number of AOs, Amazon-originated opportunities, and ultimately better leads. So you can create these packages that will result in better co-sell and better visibility of your solutions across customer opportunities in our CRM for all of our global reps. So better leverage the power of go-to-market. We're just getting started there. Matt's vision is simple. I want completely unbiased recommendations that attach your solutions to every single customer opportunity with high precision and no bias. I want to kind of get, it's great that you golfed with that person, but that should not be why we sell with you. It should be because it's the best solution for the customer. And our models and our statistical models can take the best of things that you do and recommend you into the right customer opportunities because everyone wins in that scenario. That's the goal. And we're well on the way. So this all sounds fine, but you might be thinking, well, Matt, what are you going to do about my massive business operations team to support my marketplace operations and partner operations? I have an ACE team. How many of you have an ACE team? Yeah? They're kind of shy. So the goal is, I love ACE. Don't get me wrong. Like, I own ACE. But you shouldn't have to have a whole ACE team. We want to help those people be way more efficient. Just like you shouldn't have to have a whole private offer team. Those people could be out there selling. Those people could be out there building solutions, right? They're highly educated, super talented cloud people that should be out there in front of customers building solutions. And so the goal here is to help your ACE team, help the marketplace operations team be highly efficient, help us all maybe go home for the weekend early on Friday. Get to that replay party. So right now we have a very healthy self-service business. In fact, over 80% of all transactions in the marketplace are self-service. Even though like the big deals that we're doing with our friends at Salesforce or with CrowdStrike or Databricks, like the large private offers with our largest sellers, those tend to be custom price private offers. But there's this huge thick middle. What about all of those deals for customers who would typically qualify for some kind of a discount, and they're kind of too small to maybe put a big sales team against them? Think of like a 10,000, maybe depending on the size of your company, 10,000 might be a lot or a little. Let's say 10,000, 50,000 deal. You're not going to have a whole enterprise sales team around a $50,000 deal. Maybe you will, but you don't want to necessarily from a cost of sales perspective, right? And it's pretty predictable. What if it's like a 2-year renewal with a 5% uplift and the terms haven't changed and nothing else has changed? Like, do you really need a very smart, expensive salesperson to negotiate that? No. You know that that's going to qualify for like a 15% discount off your standard rate card. So tell us that. That's what Express Private Offers is. You set the parameters. You say, listen, contract duration X, country Y, customer Z. If they meet these criteria, give them this discount. No human involved. That's Express Private Offers. It automates private pricing. Private pricing as a service. We're not going to stop there, but this is not a roadmap session. But we're starting with pricing. But there are other parts that perhaps we could automate in these kind of thick middle deals. We're just getting started here. This is super exciting. Because some customers demand private pricing, whether they want to feel special or they actually qualify for it. It doesn't matter. You want to make that sale. So we can help automate that and reduce the cost of sales and reduce the operational burden while delivering the right discounts or whatever you want to deliver to customers. By the way, I should have said that we use AI in that too. So we actually use AI to qualify the customer because it's important for you to feel confident that you set the parameters. You're 100% in control with private offers. But you need to know that that person's saying, hey, I'm from Amazon, like, are you? So we use AI to actually qualify that the customer is who they say they are and that they meet your criteria before we issue that private offer on your behalf with Express Private Offers. That's how it works. Variable payments is also one of those ones that, maybe not the most exciting title. I should have come up with a better feature name for that. But one of the most exciting features if you're selling professional services on Marketplace. Little known fact, 10,000 out of the 30,000 listings on Marketplace are professional services listings. But anyone who has a professional services listing may tell you that they were only so useful because we didn't support time and materials like milestone-based pricing, value-based pricing. Now we do. That's what variable payments is, which is super important for multi-product solutions because now you can have a time and materials-based professional services offering combined with software wrapped into a multi-product solution. Think of the possibilities. International growth. This is an area where we have made huge progress over the last couple of years. Up here on stage, I think I was apologizing a couple of years ago for international. And now I'm not apologizing anymore. I think it's actually our strength. We're doing really well here. We can save you money. We rolled out a number of different currencies, and this isn't just like FX conversion. In fact, it's the opposite. We actually have local entities in most of the world's major markets now, which means that we can do local bills with local taxation, and you can issue the private offer end-to-end in euro or Great British pound or yen or Korean won or Australian dollar. So these are actually full internationalization, full local tax compliance, like withholding tax compliance, VAT compliance. Sometimes in some countries the bill has to look a certain way or else it just doesn't work. We actually had to spend engineering effort to move where the VAT number was on invoices or like it wouldn't go through. But this sounds crazy, but there's some of you who understand that if you don't get this right, it blocks a deal. So we do a ton of undifferentiated heavy lifting to make international work. And we save you money because if you transact end-to-end in euro, you don't have to backhaul it back to the US, for example. You don't pay for that currency conversion. And you have to wait to get dispersed until we collect, right? What happens if the currency goes down from the time of purchase to disbursement? That has burned a lot of people. And so we remove that by doing end-to-end transactions in local currencies. This is a huge differentiator. And if you know, you know. If you're dealing with this, you'll know this is a really big deal. We could support 2P transactions in Brazil to get around some local tax curiosities in that country. India, we just launched. Japan, we released some new things like Japanese consumption tax support, which is very important if you're doing business in Japan. Australian dollar, euro. It's all very exciting. International is definitely an area of strength of Marketplace now. And not just from the US out, also into the US. We have partners like DataMask, who's a very nice CEO, who are bagging huge deals in the US from New Zealand. And it's amazing that you can have startups outside of the US getting huge enterprise deals in Europe, in the US, et cetera. So it works in both directions. We've got to move faster. So we're going to move quickly. So we get to deployment, though. So what about what happens after you subscribe? I said this is so important. It's especially important in agents. In July, I mentioned we launched the AI Agents and Tools Marketplace. Getting to value as a customer is critical. And with agents, it's one thing to find the agent, but if you get, for example, that Elastic MCP server from the Accenture multi-product solution, how do you start to use it? And how do you use it securely? So we support Bedrock Agent Core for our new AI Agents and Tools category, which, by the way, has ballooned to over 2,000 listings now. You can discover both MCP-enabled agents and agentic tools and professional services for agent implementation. But for the agents themselves, the MCP agents, the API-based agents, one feature that I don't want to overlook that's super important is we let customers deploy the agents directly from Marketplace into Agent Core runtime. And this is important for a couple reasons. It can protect the partner IP, but allows the customers now with Agent Core supporting VPC to run those containerized agents securely within Agent Core runtime. So it allows those agents to scale, to be secure, and to be set up for use immediately after purchase. So increasingly, so many of you in the room are thinking, your CIO or CTO is saying, what is your agentic strategy? You're building agents like crazy. Now you can sell them to customers through the Marketplace and allow those customers to use them securely more quickly by Marketplace's deep integration with Agent Core runtime and gateway. But not everything is agents yet. There's still a lot of SaaS out there, that's what I'm told. It's still the majority of what we're doing on Marketplace, and so that's why we have a new feature called IAM temporary delegation. You probably know what this means inherently. You probably have a calendar application, and you might have another application that wants read-only access to your calendar for whatever reason, and then there's a pop-up that says, do you give this application access to your calendar? That's kind of what IAM temporary delegation is. It says, hey, do you give partner X temporary access to your account to set up the application? This lets our partners set up sophisticated setup workflows so they can set things up, hook up AWS services to their product so your customer can get value out of that product right away. We also have a managed version of this, which is what we launched last year with Databricks and this year with CrowdStrike, which does a guided step walkthrough that sets the customer up after they make the purchase. So if you have a SaaS application, you can use IAM temporary delegation to reduce churn and to increase time to value. For example, there needs to be like a Redshift cluster hooked up to the SaaS application. You can do that on behalf of the customer automatically using IAM temporary delegation. I made the joke already. Trainium 3 and Graviton 5 have nothing on PC3. This is a big deal. Partner Central has moved to the AWS console. It's a big deal because it's not just moving into the console. That would be hard, but not good enough. It's also a whole set of awesome APIs that will have MCP servers and soon agents associated with them. If you've worked with ACE and with Partner Central, or you've ever asked for funding, now you can do it programmatically. The Benefits API is one of the sleeper huge hits here. Now you can make a funding request and get those credits allocated right away without having to pick up the phone and call Julia. And that's huge. I mean, Julia is amazing. I'll call Julia every day of the week, but this is a much more scalable way to run your business. You can build opportunities, send in leads, all over RESTful APIs and MCP servers. You can create solutions in Partner Central. You can make those funding requests. You can find other partners through the Connections API. We have a fully programmable stack, and it's in the console, and it's an AWS service now, so you can wrap it in fine-grained IAM permissions. So that Alliance leads, should they be allowed to apply for funding? Maybe not. The finance team can have a separate set of fine-grained access controls to use the Benefits API. So you can, just like you can with other AWS services, you can define who does what in a much more powerful way. Partner revenue measurement, in my 10 seconds left here because I got excited and went over, is very important because it allows you, the partner, to send in telemetry to us to tell us how your product is actually having impact on the customer accounts. And increasingly, we're going to start to think, how can we model incentives around the true direct and indirect impact that your product drives? So this is very important, especially if you're a services partner, a professional services, a consulting partner, or an ISV partner. It's critical that you start to understand what PRM, or partner revenue measurement, is. This is telemetry. Instead of just guessing the impact that we're having with the customers, you can prove the impact that you're having, both direct and indirect, so that we can give you the right benefits and model the right incentives for you, for our sellers, and for the customers, according to the true holistic impact that you're driving. So we're taking, just like we did with Partner Central, a programmatic approach to partnerships. We're now taking a programmatic approach to measuring the impact of our partnerships. If you'd like to learn more about partner revenue measurement, there's a private beta available. I'm happy to hook you up with it. Just grab me after this session. So I'm only a few seconds over. To recap, AWS Marketplace, we've been using AI since 2018, actually. That's when SageMaker Jumpstart, when our model marketplace launched. But it's really hit its stride, both with our AI agents marketplace with over 2,000 listings, but also how we use AI to power all of the features that we covered. Solution-based buying with multi-product solutions, and not stopping at subscribe. With IAM temporary delegation, with Quick Launch Plus that we have for CrowdStrike and Databricks, we're doing more to help you increase conversion, but also increase retention and renewal rates with after you buy. And then PC, Partner Central 3.0, a very exciting way to fully automate, lower your total cost of operations, and ultimately move faster. Because really, that's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to serve customers faster, do more for them in a better way. So we're here for you. I'd love your feedback. I would love next year to say, remember when I said how excited I was? That was nothing. Like I said, we shipped 27% more features this year. We were 31% more efficient thanks to AI and my own engineering team. I think we can maybe do 50% more features next year, but which ones we build is up to you. So I welcome your feedback. And one way you can give us your feedback is like this. It really does help. So please take a moment to give feedback. But thanks for your time today. I really do appreciate you coming on Thursday night, and see you on the dance floor later.